Oh God, what was that movie with Kevin Bacon? I Think You Should Leave. But not that.
Yeah.
Go.
That feels like that could have been the cover of I Think You Should Leave.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got another Zoom horror movie a brewing.
Oh, they're leaning into it.
They're leaning in.
They actually got bought by Shudder.
Do you think they had to pay royalties to Zoom? No. Was that Zoom? Yeah, that was Zoom.
Did they call it? They did call it Zoom because it had the 45-minute.
Yeah. What about Unfriended? Did they have to pay Skype for the...
Skype probably paid them.
The, like, Skype tone, the ringing tone.
Maybe they give them money.
Maybe. Yeah, it's
like
product placement. It's product placement.
Even in a horror movie, still product placement.
Yep.
Yeah. They were probably pitching it to them, being like, we're thinking about making a horror movie. We'd like to use your software. And they're like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
We don't have to pay for it? Yeah, go for it.
Dope.
The guy's going to stick his hand in a blender, but that's fine.
And then they were like, we're going to use the free version. No. Can you wait?
But we're going to give them a reason to want to buy the non-free version. Okay, we'll take it.
Sign us up. Okay, hi. Welcome to Never Show the Monster. My name is Kelly Attaway.
I'm Chelsea Hollander.
And today we are going to be discussing another new 2024 horror movie. This time, The Watchers.
Yeah.
Which is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, whose name I have forgotten.
It's like
Ishana?
Shana. Oh, okay. I remember it being like, it is a name that I feel like fits well with Shyamalan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that just like flows. Ishana Shyamalan.
Ishana Shyamalan. Ooh, that's pretty. That's like musical.
Right? It just like, it flows.
Yeah. That's like, I mean, it's musical. I was going to say it's like a song. Musical. You already said it. The plot of this movie is Dakota Fanning she had a sad childhood and now she's angsty and she has to deliver a bird. This sounds made up. She has to deliver a bird to the other side of Ireland. And as she's going through big woods, her car breaks down and she ends up trapped in the building with a couple of other people who are also stuck in the woods. And every night the lights flick on in their little apartment, and we've got a two-way mirror situation, and there are creatures outside watching them all night, every night. And if they leave the bunker, they will be killed. Can't escape the woods. So spooky, scary. What did you think after seeing the trailers? What did you think going into this movie?
After seeing the trailers?
Yeah.
It reminded me of The Village. And then I was like, same vibes. Which made sense. Daughter. Yeah. Maybe she was trying to like owe to her father or something. I did not have super high hopes for it.
Oh, why?
I just...
Nepotism?
That might be... That might be it. I don't think that her as a director is a problem. I don't know if I connected with this. Like, I was like, oh, this is even... Like, I don't know if it was one of those things where I was just like, meh, I don't care.
No, yeah, that's fair.
I was like, I don't care what's watching them. It's fine. I don't know. I didn't have much curiosity for this movie. That might be my problem. That just might be a general in my lifetime. I say that, but there are definitely some movies I've liked during this period of time. But this one, it was, I don't know. I was excited to see the lady from Tarot, and I was excited about her, but it was just kind of like, oh, something's watching them. I didn't think it was going to turn out to be what it was, but...
Yeah, what it turns out to be took me by surprise. I was like, I went into it unsure if there was going to be a twist. Because I was like, I mean, you're a Shyamalan.
Maybe you're trying to get away from that.
Right. I was like, are you legally obligated to do a twist? Like, is that...
The answer is yes.
Because her dad paid for the whole he paid for the whole movie. This wasn't like
I wonder if she had a original right and it didn't have a twist, and he was like, "Take it back."
Yeah, put the twist in.
We gotta have it.
So I wasn't sure, and then the way it ended, I was like, oh,
Okay. The listeners cannot see your face.
Yeah, I was just confused, I guess.
Yeah.
We are going to spoil this, so if you're new to the show,
probably, because there's not much to say about the movie except for the spoiled part.
Yeah, I mean that's really the interesting part.
I don't think okay, this is how I felt, and I thought about this when I was driving today. I was like, how do I feel about this movie? Because I was trying to ramp up for this. Amp up something. I was trying to do something, but then I was like, how do I feel about this? I want it to be, because I didn't dislike it.
No,
but I didn't like it.
No,
but it wasn't like one of the ones that I was like, oh, this is so mid that I'm like upset. It wasn't that either. So it was more towards the like good than the bad, I think. But I thought, man, if I had seen this on like USA in the middle of the afternoon and I just had some time to sit, I probably would have fucking loved it. So that was what this movie made me feel like, is like
it's a made for TV movie.
Yeah. Like if I just had like an afternoon and it came on and I watched it, I probably would have really loved it. And I probably would have really loved it at a time. There's a time in my life that I think I would have really loved this movie.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this is not that time.
Well, yeah. You've
got
some extenuating circumstances.
But I mean, it wasn't like last year. It was like probably, I think 14, 15, I would have fucking loved it. I think I would have eaten it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think I blame anyone who would like it now either. It's just not my. I wanted something more. There was one scene that I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Ooh.
Oh, were you like, oh, I'm shocked that they were.
No, I'm curious to hear what it was.
It was the scene. Okay, we're gonna spoil it, y'all.
Right now, we're already doing it.
Well, I'm not gonna get into the exact thing. But it was a scene where the two are outside, and then it shows the monsters, and I thought it did a pretty good job. Like I was like, that's sufficiently creepy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. I was like, you did a good job. I did not hate it. I
liked the addition that you can hide from them by using the forest. Yeah. Like this decaying tree, you can mask your smell from. I liked that.
That was good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could have used much more of that.
Yeah.
I do always have a soft spot for a secret bunker.
Yeah.
And a vlog from a dead guy. Ooh.
Love it. 10 out of 10 every time.
We're
selling this movie.
Device.
I'm being much nicer to this movie than I feel like I normally would to movies, but I
think it's because we don't have the more. Like there isn't much to
it's not too much. It's not too much for me to get upset with it. It was just it was like
it was just sort of atmospheric for the most part. Like you'd think that since this movie doesn't really show the monsters, you'd think that we'd have more like character development and interplay and like nope. And there's not really anything about that. Even when we find out what the Watchers are, that's so late in the movie that we don't really get to spend time learning the lore. Like I would love a prequel, I guess, about the guy who built.
Ooh, yeah, that would be fun.
Like I just want to learn more.
And I do like the lore.
Yeah.
I thought the lore was really cool. I was just like, man, that is really cool. I feel dissatisfied. I
feel so dissatisfied. Yeah. So I guess it's time. We can't just skirt around the lore. Anybody who you don't need to avoid this spoiler. I think that this movie,
it might make you want to watch the movie.
Maybe
if you didn't want to.
Yeah. It so what am I trying to say? The thing that happens is, so the Watchers are fairies. And the lore in the movie is that, and also in like Celtic fairy lore, is that the fairies used to live in peace with mankind, and then as man is wont to do, they started fighting with them, and they ran them underground and like bound them in this jail under the earth. And while down there, they like lost their wings and they lost their power, and they somehow in this one forest in Ireland still have like a little bit of power. Like they're still super strong and super fast. And more importantly, they have this ability to mimic people. Yeah. So it's sort of the changeling story, but instead of like swapping out children, they're shape-shifting into people. And so that's why they're watching. They are observing and mimicking those people, I guess, presumably to figure out how to take over, like get off the island. I guess is their goal. We don't really know what their ultimate goal is, or if we learned it, I wasn't listening. But the interesting part is, as always with an idea like this, is like how people want to use that. And so this building that Dakota Fanning and her friends, I guess we can call them, the other people who have found their way into this wood, are stuck in, was constructed by a professor who was studying fairies and that mythology, discovered they were real, wanted to study them up close. And so he originally built this coop to watch them, and it sort of went the other way. And then he tried to leverage them and turn one into his late wife. So he wants to train one to mimic his dead wife to have her back, which is so human and so misguided. And and then we get the Shyamalan twist, which is that one of the people in the coop is that person, not the professor, but the wife, who is our gal from Tarot. And she was in something else. She was in one of the other movies we watched.
Whatever she's in, she's great.
Her name is, oh boy,
Olwen Ferrer. Yeah, I don't know why I tried.
I don't know.
Oh, she was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Mandy.
Oh, Mandy. Was she in The Cult?
Oh, I haven't seen Mandy. Yeah, I don't know her from anything else.
That's right. We talked about this in Tarot. I thought that she was in another movie, but actually she looks like one of my stepmothers.
Oh,
that's
yeah. Okay,
right.
there we are. Yep, that was it. That was it. That makes sense.
Oh, and you know what? I can't believe that I didn't recognize her. Georgina Campbell from Barbarian is in this.
Oh my God.
I know.
The other girl?
The other girl.
Wow. I feel rude.
She's a main character. I knew that she was familiar to me, and I recognized her. Actually, this has happened more than once, and I'm going to click on her name.
She's in Bird Box Barcelona.
I'm unfamiliar with that. I mean, I'm familiar with Bird Box, but no, I recognized her from Black Mirror. From that episode. I always call it White Rabbit, and then somebody tells me I'm wrong.
Isn't it White Rabbit? This feels like a Black Mirror episode.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Well, no technology, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point.
Oh, I have her wrong entirely. She's in an episode called Hang the DJ, which is the dating program one.
Oh.
Well, who am I thinking of?
I don't know. I haven't watched White Bear.
White Bear. See, I get it wrong every time.
You did say bear. You did, in fact, say bear.
Is it... You've got that
Lenora
episode up? Critchlow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the woman who was in Papa Being Human.
Yes,
She's
correct.
the ghost.
She's also in a Shudder original called Horror Noir.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the documentary series?
6 horror stories from Black directors and screenwriters in a single film.
Cool.
Daddy, Bride Before You, Brand of Evil, The Lake, Sundown, and Fugue State. Sorry, I had to click a thing to read the rest of it. It just said F-U-G.
We love a fugue. We love a fugue. I think that might be in our list for an anthology series.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
When we get to it.
Eventually. We've got a backlog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Georgina Campbell is not the one in that movie. She's a different person.
But she is in an episode of Black Mirror. So that was still... You were so close.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened. I just recognized Black Mirror and assumed that it was White Bear, which was my favorite episode for a long time. How did we get here? I feel like we had a point, and then we
did we
went down an IMDb rabbit hole.
Don't. Anyway, back up to the movie.
Yeah, it's mostly just.
Do we have more to say?
I
mean, that's the problem. Is I don't know if we have more to say about it, and there's no trivia on it that is worth mentioning.
No trivia.
It is based on a book,
which I tried to listen to and fell asleep.
Good sleep book.
So, I guess that sort of explains why the movie sort of had that vibe. The source material was also sort of slow. And I was listening to it at 2x speed. Yeah. So it was not literally slow. There just wasn't. I think that we just didn't have enough character to grip onto. I will say it looks beautiful.
Yes.
The whole thing is stunning, down to the costumes. Everything is beautiful. I guess this was actually filmed in Ireland. Those woods are beautiful. I would love to go to them. Dakota Fanning's, I liked the details of snags in her sweater. I thought that was, that aligns well with her sort of deadbeat artist type character. I would have liked more about her weird dressing up as somebody else to meet people. At the start of the movie, she dresses up very out of character and puts on a wig and gives some guy to borrow a fake name. So, okay, I was doing
There's
the thing.
There's a lot of stuff to it, but it is very it's just
yes.
Nothing means anything. It's just nothing comes together, and at the end, I think some of it's supposed to come together, but still, I was I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't quite get there, and so okay, here's the thing that I was really trying to work out.
Yeah,
because I was once again trying to tie the movie together for on behalf of the movie. I was trying to do this for them.
That's so kind of you.
And okay, so Dakota Fanning in the movie has a twin. Mm-hmm. Dakota Fanning, her name is Mina. The other sister is Lucy. And when they were little, Mina was being annoying in the car by mimicking her sister, her mom, one of them. And it was so annoying that her mom was trying to get her to shut up. They get into a car accident. Mom dies. Sister gets a scar across her face. So you can tell them apart. And throughout the movie, we see these hints of her mimicking. So she mouths the words her sister says when she's listening to a voicemail from her over and over again. We see her pretending to be other people. We see her sketching pictures of people. So studying other people. And or do we see that? That was in the book, and now I can't remember.
I think that there is one.
Yeah, they're all over her walls.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was trying to get to the point where she is a changeling, which was, I thought, going to be the Shyamalan twist to the movie, rather than it being Madeline.
So maybe it was a misdirect?
Maybe, but we never
I definitely thought it was the dude.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because knew that there was he knew that there was a door to go down to.
No, he didn't know it.
Yeah, he was the one who started pulling up the wood or whatever to go down into the...
Well, they were moving the rug. Why were they moving the rug? There was an impetus to pull this out of the way.
And then he started hitting the ground with something to break it up so they could go down into the hole.
Oh, because there was clearly a trapdoor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just immediately was like, how would he fucking know if he didn't know?
He was, I think, my favorite character. I thought he was a cutie patootie. Just a little sweetie pie. So stupid.
True. Very true.
Oh.
His instincts were kind of right, though.
Which instincts? Oh, not to trust Madeline?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But then he trusted the weird guy who he knew was on the...
I think that he... Okay.
He did it for her, right?
He did it for Georgina Campbell. Yeah. I know. He was trying to be sweet after he, like, wouldn't open the door when we thought that he was maybe... Okay, I have a question about that. Earlier in the movie, well, even a step further back than that, the movie opens with a character trying to escape the forest. And we see him, like, reach a point of no return, which is... Oh, I don't think that we mentioned this. The fairies can't be out in the sunlight. So we're only in danger at night. We can leave the coop during the day, and there are markers X distance from the coop saying how, like, if you've reached here, you need to turn around now if you want to make it home before dark, which I don't think works at all times of year. I think that we've got a problem there, but that's the only neither problem. Here nor there. So we see this guy trying to get away, running, scared. It's dark now, though. He's not going to make it back. We see him scooped up, dragged. Do we see him dragged down a hole? Is that what we see?
Something like that, yeah.
And then that character turns up later at night trying to get into the coop. Was that him or was that a fairy? I didn't think so either. Okay.
Because she's like, what book was I reading?
And he couldn't answer.
And he was like, why would I know that?
But then...
Or something. And she was like, because he bought it for her? Or
I
like...
think so, yeah. But then he gets, like, dragged away scary style. Mm-hmm. So what's the point there?
As a trick.
I guess so. But now he's gone. I'm not opening the door. like this isn't an effective trick. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. Okay, you know what really sat wrong with me? The professor. First of all, it is unethical to capture a fairy and turn it into your ex-wife.
True. Very true.
Or your dead wife.
I'm glad you prefaced with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also... Did you clock that he was, like, sacrificing his workers to the fairies?
Oh, yeah.
What
He would just be like, they go work out there, and then I just don't. I'm just like, I'll be back in a little bit. And then
like, what the fuck, dude? I didn't like that.
No.
I don't like that.
He was not a good dude.
I don't like that at all. I did like how easy it was for Dakota Fanning to be like, that's my uncle. Let me into his office.
Yeah. I was like, wow. Well, that's that whole thing. If you just pretend like you're important or supposed to be somewhere, you can do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Just fool this university. Because in his, like, final vlog, he says, go to the university, don't tell anybody about this, certainly don't tell them it's true, destroy all my research, which she's able to put entirely into one tote bag.
Yep.
Oh, this is it? This is all you managed? I also find it interesting how much he was documenting and did not document the shape-shifted watcher.
He did a little bit. I assumed that was in the videos that were in between that we didn't see. I assumed that there was more because she just clicked around.
Oh, maybe.
What if they had just happened to click on the one that showed Madeline? Like, what?
Yeah, they'd be like, wait a minute.
They'd be like,
hold on.
Pretty sure.
Wait a second. See, okay, and now we're back to part of what I was trying to use to make Dakota Fanning a changeling.
Okay.
Which is that it seemed like Madeline learned that she was a halfling at the end of the movie. Like, she didn't know that she was part human, part fairy. Did she?
She knew there was something weird about her.
Yeah.
That was different because she could go out in the daytime.
Well, but I don't think that she knew... I don't think that she knew she was fairy.
But she knew
Like-
she was she's not like them because she mimicked stuff.
I don't think that she, like, the whole movie, I think that she thought she was human.
Oh, and you think in the video is when she figured it out?
I don't even know. I don't know at what point she figured it out. Maybe once they got back to
Wait,
civilization.
did she not find out until she got the sheet?
What sheet?
She didn't find out about the halflings until she got to the sheet. He was just trying to get a fairy to change
What sheet?
the paperwork in the office.
Oh, okay. I think that we are not communicating with each other the way that we
killing
think
it.
that we are. Okay, so I think that everybody in the movie who is living for the first 90% of the movie believes that Madeline is human, including Madeline.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay.
Because she said you were trying to protect us, and there you knew who we were. And you were still
said
trying
that?
to protect us. Dakota Fanning. Well, she has a name. Mimi? Wait, no, that's
Mina.
her sister. Mina. Damn, I'm not good on this one.
And
But
then
I feel like she knew. I feel like she knew because of the way that she talked to her about it. And she, like the fight that she had at the end with when she was the other girl. When she had changed into the other girl and mimicked her.
Ciara,
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Kira. I don't remember her
Yeah.
name. I'm looking at it, but I think that it's pronounced in an Irish way. And I don't know
what that is.
I don't know how to. Georgina Campbell.
Thank you.
See, but I think that maybe Madeline didn't realize that she
I don't
was
think
different.
she knew she was human. I don't think that part she knew. I think she knew she was a fairy.
Huh.
But I don't think she knew she was human.
I think the other way. And I think that she found out that she was part fairy when they got back to civilization. Like, I think that in getting back, she was like, oh, actually, none of this is familiar. Uh-oh. I am of the woods. Like, but I'm not sure because you like we do see footage of her as fairy in the vlogs.
Being forced to change.
I don't know. This is all me trying to college essay it. Like,
Well, she went to go tell her friend, and she was like, this is her. And then her friend wasn't her friend.
yes. So let me decode that for the listener. Dakota Fanning goes to Georgina Campbell's house and is like, look at these photographs I have of Madeline. This is the professor's wife who is dead. This is not the woman that we were in the coop with. And then we find out that Georgina Campbell is actually the fairy who was Madeline in this scene. So I don't know. I think that you must be right. You must be right. And I am just desperately trying
To make it better than it is?
Well, I'm trying to make the thesis of the movie be like a be careful who you pretend to be situation. Like,
I like that,
Lena, right? But I think that I'm trying to
Reaching?
make something. Yes, I'm reaching.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
thank you.
reaching.
There is a term for this.
though. But I like that idea. I thought it was more like be careful who you trust, but I think that you're set up for pretending to be and like not embracing who you are or something, because that's what happened with
Right.
Mina.
Exactly. Yeah, she's like obsessed with
that.
this idea of her being bad, and
Maybe the book would have told us.
the book was not getting there. But maybe I'll try to finish it and see what happens.
I don't want to make you do that. You'll be sleeping too much.
Well, it's only 4.5 hours if you're listening to it at 2.5 speed, or just
sure.
2x speed. So I
Not
only
too
have
bad.
like 2 hours left.
Not too terrible.
And maybe the end will wrap it up this way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I like this concept. I like the idea of fairies. I like the idea of, I mean, you know, the movie Mimic. We love mimicking.
Love Mimic. Yeah. And it was shot really well. It was very pretty.
Beautiful.
It did feel like it fell short somewhere. Like it just,
Yeah.
it was almost.
It was
This movie was almost.
Yep. which just like the half fairies.
I think that this is a movie I might watch in like 3 years and feel differently about it. This is a movie I feel like I would revisit and might feel differently. Might feel worse.
Might feel worse.
Feel better. So I can't really predict it, but I feel like this is one that I would want to revisit in some time and see if I feel differently about it.
Here's what I predict will happen, though, is we're just going to forget about it.
That's very likely.
Yeah. But you know what? I was
worried about us waiting too long to record because we might forget about it completely. That's happened.
I mean,
I've had to rewatch movies that we have put too much space between recording.
I almost did with this one, but it was $20 to rent, and I was like, no.
I rented it. Not again. I rented it originally because I couldn't see it in theaters.
That's different. Yeah, that's different. I went to see it in the theater.
Really hated having it at a early time. And I do not go to the movies at night anymore.
Oh, neither do I. And I think that except for Fathom events, because those are only ever at 7.
Yeah, good point.
But I think that we didn't have early showings for very long because it did not do well at the box office.
That's fair.
I think I read that it was a $30 million budget and it grossed $33 million.
Well,
so
that's good.
At least not a negative.
Yeah.
At least a little bit of something. I will say, let me finish that first thought. So I was trying to look into who designed the creatures, and it was...
Because I did like those.
So here's the thing, is I could not remember what they looked like.
They were very tall and long.
I remember long fingers.
Long fingers, yeah.
But then all I could think about were the Arcadian monsters.
Yeah. I had to show Ryan that the other day. I was like, I need to show you just these 2 scenes. I didn't get the... I don't want to give anything away if people purposely didn't listen to the Arcadian episode.
Oh, yeah. Definitely give that movie a watch. Definitely. So the people who created the monsters are Ingenuity Studios, and I think specifically the guy's name was Paul Byrne, and he was also known for special effects in Abigail.
Oh, we did applaud that one pretty hard.
For all the blood.
His name was Paul what?
Paul Byrne, Byrne.
Yeah, Pope's Exorcist as well.
Oh.
Oh, I wonder if he's Irish.
Oh, maybe because he did Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, and it sounded like that was a full Irish cast and crew.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I just remember, Barry Koenig talking about like knowing everyone because everyone was related to everyone somehow.
Oh, that's funny.
On set.
Oh, and the cinematographer is Eli Aronson. And I wanted to look into him because this movie was so beautiful.
It was beautiful, yeah.
It is truly, I was like, I'm just going to sink into this and consume the eye candy. And he's done a bunch of stuff that I believe is well known, just not personally known by me.
The Damned. Far.
Yeah, Far.
The Birth
made
of
me
Pomegranate.
Laugh. Oh, it's a short.
It's a 19-minute short. He did a bunch of shorts, but I would have expected there to be more based on very good, very beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I feel like even though I didn't connect too hard with this movie, I do feel like she could do better next time. I don't I wouldn't write her off. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't write her off.
Totally agree. As a first foray,
yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a strong show. Yeah. Maybe not a strong showing. It's a reasonable showing.
Yeah. It's enough to show potential. But she also knew a lot of people that could probably really great cinematographers.
That's true. And
but knowing people is also important. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think she could make another movie that's good. I think we'll see more from her.
Oh, I'll definitely check out whatever she does next.
Or we're just gonna keep saying her name.
Ashana Shyamalan.
Ashana Shyamalan.
Ooh, so pretty.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it's like
at the end of this, the only big compliment we have is your name is beautiful.
Your name is so nice, and it's like you're complimenting her parents. She didn't do that. I will say I didn't watch any of the interviews, but I read that nepotism came up a lot in the press junket.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
It does, but I think that she handled it really well. She was like, yeah, my dad is a famous movie maker, and I knew a lot of people to get this going. And I think that what that actually ended up being is that I had to fight to prove myself.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, there are different opinions you can have on that, but and I don't know how I land. Like, I guess maybe you had to fight for it, but you didn't have to fight to get in the room.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever. I don't know. But I love that there wasn't like, she didn't shy away from addressing
that's a good point.
Like, you could just be like, next question.
Or be like, I worked my ass off. This isn't about him. This is just me.
Yeah.
But her actually being like, yeah, it did help me.
Yep.
I think it's really important. I think it's, acknowledging that it was a part of it is important.
Yeah, agreed.
I would have said I hated her name if she had said something. No, just kidding.
So I did, in preparation for this episode, pull out my trusty copy of A Field Guide to Demons, Fairies, Fallen Angels, and Other Subversive Spirits.
Oh, this was the other part.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, I teased Chelsea at the start that I wanted to make a fun segue, and we're not there yet.
Oh,
this is just a little reference that I looked up because I guess I hadn't heard about the this lore specifically about the war with humans and being driven underground.
Is there a war? Was that true?
In Celtic fairy legends, yes, they used to live in harmony, and I guess sometimes loved each other and had families, and then eventually one Celtic tribe went to war with them and drove them underground, and the inability to walk in sunlight was also part of it. And I was like, oh my God, I guess I've only really known like British fairy lore.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Victorian fairy lore that was so popular, like fairy rings and little butterfly critters type fairy stuff. I mean, changelings, of course, but I couldn't actually think about like why I couldn't remember why changelings were a thing, like what their goal was. And so I looked that up in this book, and some of it is weird and some of it is funny. So in some fairy lore, I don't think that this was Irish fairy lore. I think that this was like British. And some of it is that fairies swap their fairy babies and human babies because fairy babies require human milk to live. So you just swap them in.
And then do you swap them back at some point?
You know, it didn't say.
Oh, okay.
It didn't say.
Interesting. Cool. So we're all fairies.
We're all, maybe.
Sweet.
And in some of the lore, you don't swap babies. You steal the mother and have her come be a wet nurse for all your fairy children.
Oh.
And in some of the lore, this is the funny one, in my opinion. You're not swapping babies, but you steal a human baby, and in its place, you put an aging fairy so that it can rest easy in its dying days, being coddled by its human parents.
Oh no!
Isn't that weird?
That's a full-on nightmare. That should have been this movie.
Yeah, that's much scarier. Oh God. And then there were a bunch of like superstition things that people would do around their babies to protect them from fairies. And so some of it is, what you hear for 1,000 different supernatural things. You surround them in a ring of salt. Iron is protective. And so, but that wasn't just like surround them with iron. It was like put iron scissors in their crib while they're sleeping, put iron pins in their clothing to protect them. Like, you're going to give that baby tetanus. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yep. That's a good point.
Hide bread in their bibs because bread is like an offering to fairies. And so you're protected.
They're going to be like, oh, sweet crumbs of bread.
Oh, hell yeah. I just wanted a snack. And then one of the ways to determine if your child is in fact a changeling, like if you suspect that your weird kid is a changeling, you could brew eggshells. So you dispose the egg itself, brew the eggshells like you would a tea, and the little changeling kid will be like, what the fuck are you doing? I've been around 5,000 years. I ain't never seen something like that. And then you caught them and they immediately disappear, give you the real one back. But then some of them were violent. Some of them were like
that.
No, it's bad. Some of them were like whip the child, burn the child.
No.
And
even if it is a fairy, like
even if it is a fairy, no violence. But the hope there is that if you're injuring this fairy child, then the fairy mother will turn up with your baby and be like, well, if you're going to be a bitch about it, and return your baby.
I get the logic, but I don't like it.
No, I don't like it, especially since that a lot of that actually happened, and it is like a response. It was a lot of like in response to like deformities or illnesses, like, oh, this can't be my perfect, beautiful child.
I hate that.
Yeah, so that's a huge bummer. But here is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh my God.
A lot of the fairy stories involve kidnapping somebody, taking them to the fairyland, and maybe good things happen, maybe bad things happen. A lot of the stories are good things. You go and it's like parties and beautiful women, fairies, and, delicious food and drink. And sometimes when people are returned from the fairyland, they become like despondent because they're like, I'm no longer in this like ideal world. And a lot of the stories share a lot in common with alien abduction stories. Yep.
And we do think some aliens might just be in the ground.
We do.
In Kentucky.
Yep. And some of the fairy descriptions, if you think about it, they're short, right? But in proportion, they're like long-limbed and lean and like blonde hair, which is another thing, I guess, that fairies are attracted to. Like shiny children are more likely to be kidnapped. Like if they're blonde, blue or gray eyes, pale, like they're like, ooh, trinket, steal the baby. But that description, if you ignore the wings, sound a lot like the Nordic aliens.
Oh, interesting.
So I was like, oh goddamn, like, are these fairies aliens?
I was gonna say, from what you described, I read a book. Because apparently the big thing right now is fairy smut for everybody. Did you not? That's like the big thing for books right now. Yeah.
Okay. Specifically fairy?
Yeah, specifically fairy. Very weird.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that this movie was very of the moment. I was like, good job. This is exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
In a lot of women's heads. But they should have made it like them sleeping with the fairy, not the other way. But that's
being
what
replaced by
Yeah, so that's been big. I did read one book. I didn't know what it was about. That was a book that I just went into blind. And then it was
fairy smut?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a surprise.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought
Okay,
it
I
was
have a
I thought it was some
question.
kind of a fantasy book, but I thought it was going to be like there are fairies in it, but I didn't
normal.
think it was going to be smart. It wasn't smutty until the end, but I was like,
Oh, okay.
oh, this is the kind of book that this is. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
I've got follow-up questions. Was it fairy on fairy smut?
No, human on fairy.
What
Well,
genders
I
are
don't
we
know.
talking here?
Female human. Of course, it's the female human, and then they fall in love with the fairies. Like, I mean,
Oh, I
that's
don't- what do you
usually
mean,
how
of
that
course?
goes. It's like whatever the weird creature is the other. Like, it's the woman is a human because you have to relate as a woman. The woman has to be a placeholder for you. Except this was a very badly written woman, and I was angry with her the entire book to the point
no.
at the end of it. It's going to be a series. The second book came out a couple months ago, and I was like, I should probably read it. Probably not. I don't know. We'll
That's
see.
fine. Whatever.
But
Go
she was
for
so
it.
horribly written that it made me like viscerally angry at her.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. So, tell me about these fairies.
Well, there's like a-
Human-sized or
Yeah,
fairy-sized?
they're human-sized. No, they're
Okay. That's what I was working up to because I was like,
Gross.
I am so curious about the
No,
logistics
they're not
here.
kidding. Like the fairies
Well, I
that
was
she
like,
knows
maybe
are.
they shrink her down. Is this Honey I Shrunk?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. She falls into a hole somewhere and maybe the hole shrinks her. I think
That
she's
sounds
normal
like a
size.
metaphor. Okay.
I think everything's normal sized.
But she falls down a hole, so she goes to the land of the fairies?
She goes to the dark land of the fairies.
Okay,
So there's like a
okay.
dark fairy court. And she falls there.
Okay.
And then it's like he's evil. And then they. I don't want to.
But we love him evil, right?
Yeah, that's
we
what it's
love a
supposed to
bad
be.
boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was her figuring out what's going on there. But there was like, I was like, wow, if she falls in love with him, he was very abusive for the first 90% of the. Oh, she's in love with him.
She can
Gotcha.
change him.
Gotcha.
She can change. Oh wait,
I
no,
mean,
he
that
can
is
change
what
her.
they think.
He's he can do changeling thing. I'm confused.
I'm not sure, really. He had powers. I can't remember what they were. I think it was like anybody would do anything that he.
Oh yeah, he can do like a glamour type thing.
Yeah. Or just like all he has to do is like, you will do anything that I say. So if I tell you to do something, you'll do it.
Okay.
So I think, I don't know.
I don't like that. I don't think
No,
anybody should
I
have
was
that
like,
power.
as I was reading it, I just feel like I've really grown as a human. Not as a fairy though. I'm still learning. But
yeah.
but anytime I read like romance books now, like half the time I'm like, oh, he sounds abusive. You should not talk to him
no.
anymore. This sounds bad. Girl, no.
You know, I haven't read any romance novels, but a friend of mine, many friends of mine are very into them, but one in particular.
One friend or one book?
One friend.
Okay.
Every time I go over to her house, she's reading a new romance novel. She wants to tell me all about it. And there was one series, I can't even remember what it was now, but she was like, this one is filthy even for me. Pick it up, open to any page and see, and just like give her a spin.
Jesus.
And every page I flipped to, I was like, oh, and I am not a prude. But I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it cracks me up because I'll go over there and she's like, I read about a new sex thing and I am going to tell you all about it.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, here's the tagline. How do you think it's achieved? And so I like guess like how you would contort your body into that. And she's like, wrong. Here's how it actually is. It's fun. It's a fun time.
It's nice that they detail it out so well that she could be like, nope, that's not it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Love that for her.
Yeah.
She does have 2 small children. And so she's like, I need to figure out how to disguise these books so that
Ooh.
they never try to read them. And her husband.
Or like whenever they get older, they're like, oh, my mom had that book. And then
Yeah.
start reading it and be like, oh,
the
no.
So her husband is a good friend of mine. He's my local horror movie buddy.
Oh,
We go see all the scary movies together. Not all of them. He's like being a dad or whatever, but sometimes we go see scary movies together. And he's a big history guy. He's like the trope, like loves World War II or whatever. He is currently reading a series on the rise and fall of the Roman Empire.
Of course he is.
And these books are so long. I feel like he's been reading them for 5 years. I finally asked him how many are in the series. And when he said 7, I fucking lost my mind. That was so funny to me. But I was like, girl, why are you like, you have the answer for how to disguise your smut right there. Just put it in the Roman like dust jackets, and they'll never pick those up.
Then
Don't
what
worry
if they
about
pick
it.
them up and they were like, what? The Romans did that? That doesn't sound right.
Romans
Just
did
any page.
a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Fair.
So, I don't know. That was my $1 million idea, to make like replacement dust jackets for smutty books that look really boring.
You should do it for like specified smutty books. Like look on the bestsellers of smutty books and then make them perfectly.
Yeah, exactly the correct
maybe
dimensions.
a little funny.
Exactly. Like just a little nod to something.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then I'd have to read
No.
so many.
No need. No. Just read the first 2 pages and then get it from that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I can
first 2, last 2, you're good.
Yeah, what am I talking about? That's how they do like sci-fi and fantasy covers. They like the artists aren't reading these 1,200 page novels and then working up the cover art. They're getting a little blurb and winging it. Yeah, no, you're right. This is an industry that exists.
Yeah. You could
Very
AI
achievable.
generate it. No, we don't do that. We could.
No,
we don't.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, no.
Somebody could, but not me. Yeah, I don't know. The Watchers.
It's a movie.
It sure is.
I think that's our review, is that it's a movie.
I wish that there was more.
More fairy.
More fairy?
More fairy, less vague. More...
Yeah.
Intensity?
More intensity? More direction?
The moment that I liked was the moment that was intense, when they're hiding under that thing. If they had more of those moments, I feel like I would like it more.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. Like more, I guess, interaction with the fairies. Because it's really just the 2 scenes. It's that one and then at the end on the lake.
Yeah. And those were really good scenes. If there was more of that, I probably would have liked it.
Yeah.
So, you don't need to watch this, but if you wanted to, wait until it's on streaming. Watch it on the afternoon when it comes on USA on TV.
Yeah, perfect.
You can get up during commercial breaks.
I feel like this is... What did we cover last time? What was our most recent episode?
Was it Arcadian? No. Was it Arcadian?
No. Was it?
You're doing the Arcadian mouth. I don't know.
I don't know what that was. I was just thinking, but I'm doing the Arcadian mouth. In another movie recently, in another episode, we were like, I could have used more monster, show more monster.
I think that was Arcadian. Would that not have been Arcadian?
I don't think it was Arcadian.
No, I would have taken more monster in a heartbeat. We said like the first 80% of that movie didn't have monster. Oh, no, it did. It kind of did.
It had a little. You had a little smattering of monster. Whatever. I don't remember. But here's my question is, do we actually want more monster in this? Or are we entering our show me more monster era?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it was. I think it might have been Arcadian.
I guess it must have been.
I can't think of another movie we watched.
Tarot? Did we want more monster in Tarot?
I wouldn't have minded more monster in Tarot.
Yeah.
But it's okay that it didn't have more monster.
It is, yeah.
Except for the magician. Could have used less magician. More less everything
magician.
Else.
Or just more better magician.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, maybe it was Arcadian.
I think we were just like, well, we didn't hate the monster in this one. I still think that it is if you want to make a scary movie, don't show the monster. If you want to make a movie that is kind of funny...
Lay it
make
on
Arcadian.
Me.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I guess it's not even necessarily that I wanted to see more monster in the Watchers. I wanted more interaction with the monsters. Or if not interaction with them, I wanted more character exploration.
Yeah. There was like a lot of starting on the character exploration. Like you started to identify with them and like you started to feel their connections, but it just didn't, it wasn't
not
fleshed
fully
out
realized.
enough.
Yeah. We just don't get there.
It was one of those things like each character could die and I'd probably be okay. And like every time they came close to death, I was kind of like, oh, okay.
That's fine. Like we got to move it along somehow, I guess. Like,
at least something's happening, you know?
At least something's happening. Oh, you know what I did think about is when they are being picked up by the bus and they're just talking. They're standing outside the bus and they're looking up and talking to the bus driver. It made me think of The Craft. We are the weirdos, mister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love The Craft.
I love The Craft.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do Shooting the Shit on The Craft.
God, we should. We really should.
So good.
Really, really
great
should.
Movie.
Yeah, great movie. And we love a Skeet Ulrich.
Love a Skeet Ulrich.
Okay. Well, do we have more to say on this?
I don't.
I feel like we did
We said more than I thought we were capable of saying,
Truly.
so I'm really impressed.
And I think that the bulk of that was stuff that wasn't even in the movie. It was the manufactured story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, you filled in some plot lines that I found very interesting.
Maybe I'll write a book.
Do it. I'm serious. I'll read it. Maybe.
Thanks.
Make it an audiobook.
Yeah. Oh, I'd have to. Yeah.
I'll listen to it for sure. I might not read it, but I will listen to it.
What are we doing next week? We are doing Long Legs.
Long Legs.
Long Legs.
So excited.
Long Legs. I'm excited too. I've already seen it once. I think I'll go see it again.
What?
No further thoughts because you haven't seen it yet.
Good. I'm so excited for it. I wish I had seen it last weekend, but I was saving it to watch it. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh my God.
We have been looking forward to this one
for like a year.
Ever. Yeah.
It was just like a word.
Long.
It was a word. We knew nothing else. And we were like, this is going to be the movie. This is the movie.
So compelling.
This was the movie I was looking forward to this year. So I am. And Shelby Oaks got a distributor. So Neon is now distributing Shelby Oaks whenever it distributes. I don't know when that'll be. But Neon did Long Legs. And like Neon is also doing Cuckoo.
And they did Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes. So Neon is really ramping it up. Yeah. A24, Eat Your Heart Out. Maxine. We have to see Maxine. Oh my God. We
do. Yes. I'm worried. I feel like it's not getting great reviews. So I'm worried I'm going to miss it in the theater. I did see a couple. Yeah. But I still want to watch it, though. I want to watch it. Yeah. So we do. We need to go see that. And like you mentioned earlier, Cuckoo is coming out. And I read today that Hush is finally going to be streaming. That. Yeah. Oh, I'll finally get to watch that.
Thank goodness. See, different timeline. Sorry.
Different timeline.
We did jump timelines. What?
There's something else I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
It's not about the Watchers. I'm sorry, you guys. We'll get back to the outro in a second. Okay, so I was looking into what else Ashana Shyamalan has done. Because... yeah, she's written a bunch of episodes for The Servant I'd never heard of. It's a TV show by...
Is it Apple TV?
It is Apple TV, which is why I hadn't heard of it.
They don't advertise.
Well, and I don't pay for that. But it's a horror TV show starring Rupert Grint.
Yeah, right?
Like, what the fuck?
Rupert Grint was in seasons? Knock on the Cabin.
Yeah. Cabin.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. The other one by door. The dad. Yeah.
By Papa Shyamalan.
Never mind. I was going to try to combine it, but it's not.
I'm trying to as well. Yeah. Knock at the Cabin.
Yes.
Oh, and he was in Cabinet of Curiosities.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What the fuck?
Look at him. He's diving into the place that we are.
Hell yeah.
Happy to hear that. Of all of them, I mean, I also like Daniel Radcliffe if he wants to jump over into horror.
Same.
We watched him in Woman in Black.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Rupert Grint everywhere in horror right now. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Keep it coming.
So now we can resume the outro. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about Longlegs. If you are going to see that, definitely watch it before you listen to our episode. We'll put that disclaimer in that episode as well. And how else do we say?
Happy spookies? We wish them a happy spooky.
We do wish them a happy spookies. Like, subscribe, rate, review, etc.
10 out of 10.
Hey, quick note from me, Kelly, your editor. We said here that in 2 weeks we will be covering Longlegs, and we also talked a lot about our Arcadian episode. Guess what? I edited everything out of order. Next episode will be about Arcadian, and you can just swap them in your mind. Just pretend that I did it in the right order, and we'll both be happier that way. Okay, happy spookies. Love you. Bye.